Hello everybody, welcome! Welcome to Discussing Tabletop for this fine day on October 27th, 2018. This is actually our 92nd episode. Look at that. Running on that way towards 100. So, today for you we have an interesting docket of topics to talk about. First off, we're going to talk about the D&D Art and Arcana book. So that's a very interesting one. They have like an art book. Pathfinder, the Sandpoint book, because the Sandpoint book, I wanted to talk about it because Sandpoint was the first location in the first adventure path, Rise of the Runelords. They're a little late on this one, like the other ones that I thought were late. Yeah, this one, very late. Anyway. The Fallout board game has a new expansion called New California. King's Struggle's a new game by WizKids. Mai by Z-Man Games has been announced. Arkham Horror is introducing multiple scenarios for its 3rd edition, which is a little different than your average way of doing it. And the Vert RPG has been released by Modifius. Let's start, of course, with the D&D Art and Arcana book, because, well, we've always been talking about, at least lately, how Dungeons & Dragons has been doing really good on their art front. Really interesting, really cool kind of stuff. And I guess this is their way of, like, expressing it.
Yeah, well, I'm on Amazon, and they actually let you look at the first, like, 27 pages. So it looks like what they're showing is, like, the development of... Oh, actually, no, you can look at the whole book. It looks like the development of how, like, creatures have changed throughout the years.
Okay.
You know, the art form and everything. So it's actually really cool.
No, okay, so it is an illustrated guide to the history and evolution of D&D is what's supposed to be.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. It's like you can see that, like, they have different examples of different periods of artwork and how it's changed. And
oh god, yeah, like I remember the 2nd edition Bestiary and had some very like interesting art to it, but it's
here.
changed.
I'm going to put this link in chat.
Okay.
In case anyone wants to see
the Amazon stuff where they're showing it off.
Yeah, they're showing the whole book, so it's actually really cool that you can see what they're talking about.
That's kind of weird that they're showing like the book.
You could actually print it.
Weird.
I just noticed that there's an actual option that says print book.
Weird.
Yeah, that surprises me too.
I'm not seeing everything that you're talking about here with like the pages.
Oh, you have to click, if you click on the main image there, okay, on the left,
yeah,
you can actually look in the book.
Oh god.
And you can zoom in. Everything says copyright material, but it even has a print book button.
Yeah, okay, yeah, alright.
So you could print your own copy. It would just be rather large.
It looks like there are some pages. Like I scrolled through here, like 3 to 5 are not included in this book preview. So
okay. So
it's
yeah,
probably
maybe
not 100%.
But if you wanted to print stuff, you can.
Yeah, you could print the preview.
Oh yeah, because it's 439-page book.
Oh god. Yeah. And it certainly doesn't have 439 pages to preview.
No. But still, that's
actually
kind of
awesome.
awesome.
Of them. And
yeah.
It's such an interesting guide to everything. Oh my god. I like the, I don't know what pages, but there's one that has like a really bad like sailed dinosaur that I'm sure they're using as a dinosaur attacking a castle or something. Like a photograph. It's
oh
like
god, I'm looking at one that's like this giant demon. That's red with white horns and a giant sword holding a woman, and a spellcaster's attacking, and so is a like fighter. It definitely looks AD&D-ish.
Man,
Oh, it's from the, let's see, Dungeon Master. It's from the, it's like from the, I think, AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide.
The thing is, the history is so rich, and having something like this that's showing off a lot of the history is very interesting. Just an illustrated guide to the history.
And you really can see how the art has really stepped up. Not that it was bad back in the day. It was period.
It was what the art was at the time.
Yeah.
You know, like, I like the picture of the evolution of the purple Wyrm, where they're showing off like the original edition, first, second. I remember the second edition drawing, and then the third edition drawing, which is very different.
Though they also have like the Beholder.
God, the Beholder, it's there, but it's also changed. It's one of those.
Yeah,
things.
They have two pictures of it. One is like the old brown version, and then the other one. Okay, so that one was fourth edition 2008, and then fifth edition 2014. It's purple now.
Yeah. The coloring has changed, which I don't know if what the coloring was in the old ones. I think it was always a lot of different colors in the back of the old one.
Oh God, there's an old sketch of it that looks just really stupid. Oh, it's called the Big Eye. That's probably like the prototype for it was Big Eye.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh, okay. So that's an interesting thing, because there's a bunch of the book that's technically, with the art, would be public domain art, and there's like disabling it.
Right. That's it's if you go past the purple Wyrm about like 5 pages, that's where you'll start seeing the Beholder stuff.
Still,
which there's a hand drawn version of it, just says Big Eye on the bottom, and it looks really ridiculous.
I mean, this book is very interesting.
But they even have like handwritten notes on
stuff that probably Gary Gygax, and I can't remember the other name of the guy, because Gary Gygax is the one you always remember. But there's the other one that is the 2 main founders that developed the game. Like,
but it's cool that they have like handwritten notes by them and stuff, and it's a really interesting book if you want to dive into the history of D&D.
And like, you think about how the art has changed and evolved, and reflects this entire evolution of the game is a very impressive and interesting thing. And I think that's why this book is very cool.
Oh God, there's an old poster. I'm thinking it was like something that they sent to stores.
Yeah.
It says sales will skyrocket with the TSR game line. The hobby of gaming is one of the fastest growing in the country. When it comes down to launching record sales, we have a vehicle. Something count up profits when you're offered the TSR top line of games, game rules, and gaming accessories. There are over 250,000 enthusiasts who will enjoy a greater share of the market by selling the line of TSR.
Dave Arnson. I looked it up. Another guy that created it. I never remember. No one remembers him. It's always Gary Gygax, because I think he's the one that, he
was like the face of the country.
Company. And I think he probably didn't stick in the company as much, in TSR as much. And I think that's one of those things, is Gary Gygax stuck with it until close to when it got sold to Wizards, when TSR basically died. So
yeah, and they even had a sales guarantee. If any product bearing our name does not meet your sales needs, you may return it for a refund or credit.
That's interesting. Wow.
Well, like I said, I think this was for stores specifically.
Oh, it's pushed out of the business. Thank you, Unfunny One. That could be the case, that like Gary Gygax just shafted him out of it. It's like, those business partners in Disney and everything that happened with that,
Well, he also got pushed out eventually too.
Okay. Yeah, apparently he left in 1976, but sued to retain credits. Oh, and he died also. Well, that's sad. So he's also passed away.
Well, considering when the game came out,
He was only 61.
they were all. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So. And Gary Gygax died when he was 69. Congratulations, Gary. Congratulations. Yeah,
Yes.
you won it.
And apparently TSR was in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Lake Geneva, it's Wisconsin. Oh, there's a documentary coming out about it. It's going to be interesting to see some stuff, but I guess this is a... I guess... Conversations in the background that I can't get away from.
I hear it. I hear your dad.
Yeah. He's got his... Whatever. Anyway,
Anyway, come on.
I'm gonna mute this for a sec myself.
Ooh, they even have like an old character sheet that's very, very basic. Just says name, class, level, alignment, strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, charisma, experience, gold, equipment, spells, and magic items. Oh, and languages known. That's it.
Such interesting things.
Yeah, it's just like a yellow piece of paper with some lines and boxes. Very, very basic. Oh my god, Dungeon Dragon rules for fantastic medieval war games. Campaigns playable with paper and pencil and miniature figures. Gary Gygax and Arnson.
The original stuff is just so crazy. It's just
original collector's edition, 3-volume set.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh god, and then here's a handwritten list of demons that they originally came out with height, build, skin, head, face, horns, body, arms, legs, fangs, tail, and other.
I think I can be talking on the stream again without worries of background noise.
Okay. That's why I was just like, I'll go over some of the interesting stuff I'm seeing.
That's fine. You know, as my niece was having a temper tantrum about something. When she was being lectured to do something she wasn't doing. You know, the usual. She's 5-year-old, so doesn't listen to anyone. And, you know.
Oh god, the evolution of the Demigorgon.
Demigorgon, evolution of him. I mean, I'm sorry, like, how they show how things change and evolve throughout Dungeons and Dragons, and how, yeah, the art has come about, is a very interesting thing.
It started off with like almost like a bear type head, then went kind of somewhere between a bat and a wolf head, and then a baboon head.
Oh yeah, the baboon heads.
And now it has just like a monstrous.
They're still kind of
lizardess with hairy.
They're still kind of bamboo. I'm sorry, bamboo.
Baboony.
Baboony, but like it's less directly baboony.
Well, the coloring doesn't make them baboony anymore. Like the coloring in 2008 was like blue around the eyes, red on the nose. And now it's more like scalish with some hair. So they definitely went away from that. But it's just like, that's interesting to see the evolution there.
No, the game, the seeing this art like this is a very interesting thing, definitely. And if you're interested in the history or the art of the entire thing, it would probably be worth it to grab it for the book. But it's a big, for the amount of pages, $30 hardcover book. But that's actually not bad considering how much a PHB would book and how many pages that would be.
No, and this is $30, and you're getting a lot.
400 some pages.
Yeah, and not just that, but you're getting the total history and handwritten notes.
Yeah.
Not just pictures, but handwritten notes, covers of Dragon magazine.
No, it's showing the legacy
Yeah, it's really awesome.
So, yeah. I mean, this is a cool one. I definitely, that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it just would seem like such a cool thing. So if you are a fan of the history of D&D, or the art, art and history, we should say,
yeah,
this is definitely something you should check out. This is the kind of thing I would, if we had a lot of stores like Barnes and Nobles and Borders anymore, it's the kind of thing that I probably would have sat down and paged through. I just don't know if I could, spend the extra money on it. But if I did, I probably would get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we could talk about this for a lot longer, and background horrors have managed to subside. English. So let's talk about Sandpoint. So, all right. Yeah. So, Sandpoint. The only reason I brought this up is I have played Rise of the Runelords. I didn't finish it. I played through all up into the 5th adventure. But you start in Sandpoint. Sandpoint is a major thing that you visit a couple of times. And now, how many years off are we seeing the Sandpoint book be released?
Let's see. It was birthed in 2007. So 11 years?
And now we get the book all about Sandpoint.
And right before we go to 2.0.
Well, the playtest is still going strong, and I mean, this kind of material, I can see them very easily being like, it's perfectly 2.0 compatible. It's setting stuff. And setting stuff, I can understand them focusing more on that during this time period. But for me, it's more the point of, why are we waiting like
11 years to
over a decade to focus a book about something we should have focused a book on, back in the day?
I'm guessing they were more concerned about getting other projects done.
Yeah, I can see that.
And then they decided to revisit.
I feel like, of the cities they could have talked about, this is one, like, because they also say it's a fan favorite town. Should this have been a higher priority somewhere along the line?
No, I completely get what you're saying, and I agree, but like I said, maybe they were just too focused on new material than revisiting something else.
And the thing is, it's a 96-page campaign setting book that's helping you craft adventures, in which they say in their description, Pathfinder's most popular town.
Yeah.
It's like D&D for Forgotten Realms not putting out stuff on Neverwinter or Waterdeep. They put out stuff on Neverwinter or Waterdeep because they're so goddamn popular. If we would skip those...
Yeah. I don't know what took so long.
I mean, it also includes a double-sided pull-out poster map of Soundpoint and surrounding area. So, that's cool. Paizo has strange priorities I almost see sometimes. I never quite understand them.
Yeah, well...
I really don't. I mean, like, they make...
I just also love this oversized 96 campaign page book.
Yeah. Because it's got a rich history. You've used it a lot. We had an entire adventure path where they used it for, like, at least I think you visited, like, 4 out of the 5 adventures. You were in Sandpoint for a time. First adventure, completely in Sandpoint. Second adventure, you start out in Sandpoint and do some things in the town. third adventure, the third adventure, I think, is the one that you don't do anything at Sandpoint. The fourth adventure, you have to save Sandpoint from an attack from giants. And then the fifth adventure, you start out in Sandpoint. I don't know about the sixth adventure at all because, as I said, I never did it. But still,
right.
That's 4 out of them. That 2 of the adventures, it's focusing on Sandpoint.
Oh, God. I mean, it was in the Pathfinder's RPG beginner box. It was the first time they used Sandpoint.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been like a major city since the beginning of Pathfinder.
You have to consider that the original Rise of the Runelords was made for 3rd edition. Like, you can't find it anymore, but you can tell that the original was. It had Sandpoint in it. Back when Pathfinder wasn't Pathfinder, it was 3.5.
Yeah.
You know, so how can you have, like, forgotten this for that long?
Yeah, it's like kind of what birthed your company.
It's the location that is the major one in your storylines and everything you have, and why have you ignored it? I don't know.
Have they done other campaign setting books though?
Oh, sure. I think they have.
I'm not up on them, so.
Yeah, the campaign setting. Oh, whoops. I was gonna click on it and try it. Campaign settings. The campaign settings. I think they've done some location ones. Under campaign settings, there's 125 products.
Okay. Because that was the other thing I was thinking. Like, maybe they haven't done any major campaign settings, and this is the first one. No.
85. Okay, so they had campaign settings. They had some Pathfinder stuff. 17 that were in 3.5. 85 that are in Pathfinder, which I'm clicking on those to go into depth a little bit more on those, just to like give a good understanding of this. Let's see here. Some of these are like City of Strangers. Let's Pathfinder Chronicles. The Inner Sea World Guide was a campaign setting book. Lost Cities of Galarion. These are cool ones. They did like a couple of like dungeons, Undead Revisited. So I mean, like, the campaign settings are not just areas, but they have like the Land of Linorn Kings. Yeah, Dragon Empire Gazetteer for their like Asian-y area. Magnamar, the City of Monuments.
Inner Sea World Guide.
Isles of the Shackles.
Yeah.
So they have other locations that they've had here under their campaign settings. But, and granted, I think this is the biggest one. No, yeah, I think it is the biggest one. Isra in the Land of the Eternal Winter. The World Wound.
Because a lot of them, I think, are more supplemental.
Orison, Legacy of Pharaohs, the Orison area. Yeah, they're smaller ones. Numeria, God, they've had a lot of these that are just Andorran.
But like I said, I think a lot of them are more supplemental books. With this one's kind of a big expansion.
That's true. Let's like when I look at how big these books are, how much is this one cost anyway?
Give me a second. Let me go back.
It's
$26.99.
It's bigger, but it's not so much bigger because there's a bunch of these are $19, which are more than their paperback, I thought.
The paperback for this one's $26.
But like, so yeah, a lot of the location ones aren't as big, and I will agree on that one. You know, a lot of the location ones like that are talking about these are probably some of their smaller campaign. What am I going to say about this? Books, like they're small paperbacks, smaller ones. But the fact is, I can look through here and like so many of them are before Sandpoint. And granted,
Right.
now, granted, I will admit, a big thing about a lot of these are they are lands and not cities. Except for Magnamar.
Right.
Which Magnamar is their other big city, which, you know, they have a lot of adventures set around. So basically, out of the two big
Why
cities,
did they do Magnamar first?
again,
and not
I would say it would be
Sandpoint?
like D&D Forgotten Realms. Some people put out a Waterdeep book and then don't do a Neverwinter book.
Right.
Or no, actually they would do a Neverwinter book and not do the Waterdeep
book.
Because Neverwinter is like the other big city, but it's not as big. And I think it's really only big city because of Neverwinter Nights. I think there was another big city in Forgotten Realms that would have been a better comparison, but
I don't remember enough.
oh, I can Google large season Faerun. Waterdeep's called Kalimport. It would be like, okay, it'd be like doing a Kalimport book before the Waterdeep book.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the best way of saying it. Though Neverwinter is another, Neverwinter, Kalimport, those are big places that if you ignore Waterdeep, the number one place, when Sandpoint is the number one place. Maybe it isn't the largest city. I think that's the thing about it, but it's still the most popular. Like, Waterdeep is the largest, but it's also one of the most popular places for adventures. I'm sorry, Waterdeep, usually you visit Waterdeep at least one point in time in an adventure, you know?
Right.
Or like, I think like when we had our first Faerun adventure, we started in Waterdeep. We left and never came back, but I thought that's where we started it. I believe we did. So, we started in the harbor. Left, never went back. But then it was a legacy of a whole bunch of different games set in Forgotten Realms and Faerun that are based around that same adventure with Waterdeep at its center. So, yeah. I don't know. I guess there's some arguments to say about this entire setup with the thing, but
Right.
They should have had it earlier.
At least they finally did it.
True. I will agree that if they hadn't done it, that would have been crazy. Really crazy.
It may have took a long time, but
they might have took them next to an infinity. But at least they got it done. So, Sandpoint. If you have used the place, or you're going to use the place, and you're a big fan of it, it's got a huge campaign setting book. I guess I would also recommend it if you're going to run Rise of the Runelords nowadays. It's an ancient adventure, but it's a very good adventure. So, cool. Alright, let's talk about Fallout New California. It's a board game expansion for the Fallout board game. That's the quick way. It's by Fantasy Flight, because of course it's a Fantasy Flight game. But, so Fallout the board game, did we talk about
I've always wanted to try that one. I've seen it played.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it played. It plays really cool.
Yeah.
But and it's cool that they're doing an expansion for it the last, because California was the last one that came out, right?
The New California is the one that just is. I think it is out now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the last video game that came out for it. So
last one that came out was Fallout 4, and then Fallout 76 is coming out now, which is like a 76 is weird because, to not get into two things, it's like a spin-off without being a spin-off. Because it's less RPG, more survival game.
Right.
But that's an argument I'm not going to get into. Because I play survival games and RPGs, so I have personally nothing against Fallout 76 for existing. I just don't know if it would be a necessary game. I still might play it because, again, it hits on that survival. I'll take a look at it. But back to New California. They talked about California in New Vegas because the New California Republic was one of the major groups that was involved in what was going on in New Vegas. And the New California Republic, the NCR, is a country in the ruins of the wasteland. You know, granted, it's not like the countries we know now, because it's like, you know, it's like settlements far and spread apart in a wasteland area, but still, New California.
Right.
I don't know how much it's going to dive into the aspect of the NCR, or it's going to do its own kind of thing. It's kind of hard to tell from all this.
Well,
yeah,
there are,
New California Republic.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's tiles that actually says New California Republic.
Yeah.
Rise of the Master, New California.
Okay, so like if they're using things like Rise of the Master, since the original Fallouts were supposed to be in California, like the first 2 games, I think, so they might be mimicking some of those early times, like leading to the rise of the NCR. You know, so it might be using some of the early Fallout games as a history point almost for the game that they're putting together. And Vault 444. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. They have a lot of their own stuff developed for the board game too. So, but no.
Do you want to use Nerd Rage?
Yes, use Nerd Rage.
I was just looking at some of the stuff. It's one of the cards was Nerd Rage. It's like, Nerd Rage. If any enemy would kill you during a fight, discard that to get mad. Suffer no damage or radiation and kill the enemy instead.
The thing is, this is their first actual expansion that they have to the Fallout game, which I think came out this year. I just don't know if we talked about it.
Did it come out this year?
It might have came out last year.
I think it came out last year. I think it's been out for at least a year.
2017. So it was out last year, but I don't think we really talked about it then.
We might not have.
Yeah. Fantasy Flight's sometimes hard to tell what's coming out, what's not coming out.
Yeah.
We might have hit onto it a little bit, but like it's nice that we can see a really interesting expansion come out now, because new Quest Companions Vaults, items, 5 new characters.
And considering the quality for $40, that's not bad. Because look at them. I mean, they're unpainted minis, but they're detailed minis.
Yeah. No, I think like the Fallout games are very well detailed and very good. They're worth the price, I think, the way they put them on. Fantasy Flight's pretty good at that way, but like it would be $100 to get the base game and the expansion at this point in time, but still.
But that's also 2 games. Well, it's a game and an expansion. I mean, that's not that unusual.
Well, it's like
and especially considering, like I said, the level of detail, the cards are really nice. Everything, the artwork, everything's done really well, and you're getting plastic minis that are high detail.
I would almost compare it to what was I going to compare it to? Like the version, like the expansion, I would compare it to like one of the big expansions from Arkham Horror. They add a lot, and they're very expensive, and they're big boxes that match the big box of the base game. There was like 2 of them. We got at least 1 here in this one. And that is to mention that Fantasy Flight took over Arkham, so it kind of fits. Well, if you haven't checked out the Fallout board game, we would recommend checking it out. It looks really cool, and the expansion looks like it's a really great expansion. Um, that is like sometimes I question their business practices a little, like Steve Jackson Games, but not to the extreme of Steve Jackson Games. They always seem to, they sometimes seem to like skirt that line that doesn't go like a little too far money grubbing. But they do still do. But like Steve Jackson Games does great products. I just, it's the same with Fantasy Flight. They do great products. I just can complain.
Right.
But let's move on, because we still have a couple more topics I want to handle before the end of today's show. I want to talk about oops, that's not in position, so I can get rid of it. King's Struggle by WizKids. So, WizKids has a new board/card game out. Let me get to it.
I'd say card game, actually.
Let me try to load it up here so I can show it off to everyone properly. If people hadn't noticed, I had been streaming late for my stream, so everything got a little, muddled in this afternoon's adventures.
Muddled.
Yeah. So let's just set that up. But King Struggle. It's 3 to 6 players, so that means it's going to be a it's a trick-taking card game. So I think it's been a bit before we've talked about one of those.
Yeah, it's you're trying to also make sets.
Yes. So I mean, there's
7 rounds.
Whoops! I almost had it there. Whoops. Man, everything falls apart. It's all on fire.
Oh no.
That was earlier today. Oh my god. Hey, King Struggle. I got it working. Probably. So the game seems simple, which I think it's about. Negotiation, set collection, each player playing 1 card per round, and each game being 7 rounds. It's a very simple concept. You try to win cards through negotiation and winning the tricks. It's the unique card abilities that have been crafted to drive negotiation between players. Ability card can be activated on a turn or not. It's up to you. Yeah. So action or inaction is also like a thing that can be negotiated. Like,
yeah, I'd also like, you must learn to play the players more than play the game.
Yeah. So that's why this game is, I think, a little interesting, because it's more person-based than game-based. The game is incredibly simple. 7 rounds, play 7 cards. Try to get sets. That's it. Nothing special beyond that. It's what you do when negotiating and manipulating the entire board and people that comes down to it. I'd be interested to see what kind of options are on play for the negotiations, and I'm sure the rules give a little bit of information on that.
They do have the downloadable rules. Let me see if I can download.
It doesn't look like it's working yet. That just means they probably haven't uploaded it
okay
yet. It is a new one, so sometimes they don't get those right away. So, I mean, if you want to give it a little time and check it out, you might have to wait to see the rules just to get a perfect idea of everything. But this seems like a simpler manipulation game, like person manipulation.
Like, there's an assassin card that's a negotiation. There's a knight that's a negotiation. Maybe remove something up to... It looks like there's cards you play to actually negotiate.
But I'm wondering how the negotiations happen. Like, what would you get out of the negotiation? Would it...
Well, like, the best one I can read is the assassin, which says negotiate, may remove and keep some kind of point royal card or pay money. I think that's how you get cards that other people play, because when you play it, whether you activate the ability or not, it's up for trade, basically. So I think that's what it is when you play a card, you can be like, okay, I'm activating a negotiation, and I can take this card and give you this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Where the king has no ability.
Yeah. One kitty. Meow meow. Visitor, everybody. Stream cat.
Stream cat.
Stream cat. I'm gonna raise my stream cats in chat. Anyway, yeah, it's definitely the kind of game that I do enjoy playing, even though I don't play them a whole lot, because it does have that 3-player requirement, and you can get pissed off at people for like a lot of things like this. So it's hard to like, it's like Resistance, or you know, on a larger scale, things like Werewolf or Secret Hitler that have that level of negotiation, mistrust, and things like that, because you're going to be making deals with people, but you're not always going to go along with them.
Yeah. It looks like there's 3 different types of cards to make sets with.
Cool.
There's like a goldish, teal, and a purple.
Yeah.
And purple looks like it might be royalty.
Okay, so it's like royalty, maybe like
assassins are gold.
So I don't know what that would be under. Maybe that's soldiers. Maybe like
maybe I don't know what teal is because there's no good view of
Unfortunately, we can't see all.
Cards.
We can't see a lot of the types of cards. We just have to kind of look and see what they've got. So
it could be like gold could be like sneaky, and teal could be soldiery too.
That's true. So this game definitely requires a lot of either checking it out yourself, like taking a look at the box, or even waiting for the rules to finally be uploaded on WizKid's website, which they usually are pretty good. So it should be like at most like a week or two before they have those rules up, that you can check them out for yourself and see if it really does interest you in this game of negotiation. And I guess it's not going to be double crossing. It's just going to be negotiation and trickery, because you're going to try to trick people into negotiating with you for your advantage also. Very, very interesting. Cool. Let's hit the next up. And let's hope I spelled this one correct. Give me a second to see if I did.
Is this Maui?
Is it Maui?
Or Maui?
Meow.
M-I-A Meowie.
Okay,
maybe.
Yeah. Meowie from Z-Man Games. Yeah, it's a silly little game, and that's why I kind of got it, because it's got like weird art too, because anthropomorphized cat people that are tribal. So the thing is, it like also reminded me of like
who are fishing.
Yes, but it reminds me a little bit of like what's it called? I should know the name of it because it's
the Disney movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it too. It sounds similar. I think Moana.
Oh my god! It showed up on the thing without me having to do a lot of work. That's works.
Yay!
For me. I forgot to get rid of the when I was browsing for the image. Yes, it reminds me a lot of Moana too, but except like cat versions of it. It's about tide and fishing, basically, or fishing within the tide. And I guess you're building your own tribe too a little bit, because it's like the cat folk come in different sizes and stuff and have different numbers, and it looks as if like the lagoon has its own rules too. So I mean, it's got some layers to it, at least. Maybe not a huge amount of layers, but it's like a cute little weird anthropomorphized Moana-ish feeling, or like tropical Hawaiian feeling, I guess, or not Pacific Islander feeling kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I mean, Z-Man comes up with weird game ideas. I just say that they come up with some weird game ideas. They're not bad, just weird. Meow. Meow 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 meow. Thank you, funny one, Moana. The cat agrees with me. She's very interested in this game. Tell me more about it, Joe. What do you think about fishing and being cat people?
Meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
I'll be the big tattooed cat.
Yes.
Who's laughing?
Mm-hmm. That seems to make sense.
I think you should be the older one with the goggles.
Sure, why not? But the goggles, they do nothing. Remember?
Yes. You have a spear, though. I have a fishing pole.
Yeah. Beware the seagulls and jellyfish, but still come back with the most valuable fish. So I guess it's going to be like a betting system or something, you know? Or you dive in lagoons 12 times. Each wave is a new fish for players to catch. Once the lagoon's 3 spots are slowed, each player chooses one diver card from their hand and places it face down in front of them. So there's an interesting system to this entire thing of like, it's a.
Oh, you know what it might be is who goes first, or something is able to choose how deep they're diving, and what they're going for. Like, you know, the play mat shows like there is like a fish being on the top, seagull being second in, and jellyfish being third in. You don't want to be the one with the jellyfish. It's negative 15 points.
Yeah. And
but seagull's just pointless.
Yeah. 3 to 6 cards, 27 diver cards, 37 fish cards. I don't, the kitty tiki.
Yes.
They really went for this entire thing. And you're trying to get, what, Emperor Tuna? And leave the small kitfish for your opponents?
Yeah, and it will be early 2019 for the release, and it'll be about $25.
So no, it's a very interesting little game that's coming out soon. So keep an eye out for it. You know.
Yeah, it looks cute, and Z-Man does a good job.
Yeah, Z-Man does a very good job. That's kind of why I thought to talk about it. You know, it was like, ooh, looks kind of cute, and Z-Man does a good job. So, pretty simple there, one. So Arkham Horror 3rd edition. Scenarios. Yes, Arkham Horror, it's 3rd edition. Let me see if I can get some better information from it. Thank you, Fantasy Flight. That is way too old. They've announced, like, I think it's 4 scenarios. Or 2. They're previewing 2 scenarios, which is a little different from your traditional Arkham Horror, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it. If they're doing full scenarios rather than just... Because normally when we play Arkham Horror, it's kind of like, what's our Elder God we're going against? So instead, they're doing scenarios, which are different ways to play the game. Different goals, monsters, board layouts, and narrative stories that have their own branching paths and choices. And I think that's an interesting and different way of actually playing the game, which merits kind of talking about this here. So Arkham Horror itself, if you don't know about it, it's Cthulhu. You play as investigators. We've talked about this before, but I might as well go over it. You play as investigators going to Arkham and basically trying to stop Elder God A, B, or C, or whatever one you have, from devouring all humanity, destroying the world kind of thing, awakening in our world, and doing the bad stuff it does. So it's interesting to see that, you know, they're, rather than having like the full like I'm sure you could maybe have Ancient One X Awakening, but instead they have like an entire specific storyline around this ancient god, like Azathoth, whose entire thing when you were playing the base game, he was the worst because when he awakened, everyone dies, you lose the game. Most of the other Elder Gods, when they awaken, you can maybe fight them if you're lucky, or if you have the gangster guy with a Tommy gun and dynamite, he might have a chance.
Right.
But like, it's interesting to see that they've kind of evolved the way that they look at the each of these kind of scenarios of the different Elder Gods, because the two that they show off are fighting against Azathoth or the Awakening in Cthulhu. So will this mean, rather than the original way that we had it, we're going to see maybe expansions which increase scenarios and each Elder God they have? So like if they bring us like Innsmouth again, it'll be scenarios based around the Elder Gods of Innsmouth, and like all the expansions will be reworked into their own scenarios that you might want to try playing out. And of course then each scenario has its own things, and then you just kind of randomly draw a scenario.
Yeah,
this might work better than the original is the thing I'm thinking about. Because the thing about the original is, like, the more expansions you got, it got bloated. Because you'd have, like, all these things kind of mixed together and all these mechanics. And when you do something scenario-based, it almost begins to separate little portions of it out more. So I don't know if this will work better or not. It seems interesting. And it seems like a very interesting, different direction to take for the original Arkham Horror that maybe evolves it better. I don't know. Definitely, I'm interested to see the actual game when it comes out. It's like I have second edition, but this makes me interested in actually maybe trying out third edition and maybe looking to get it.
And the artwork looks really good too on it.
Oh yeah, they've improved what Arkham Horror had. It's like the one thing I will say, which is a big improvement to Arkham Horror, is you don't have stupid tiles for monsters. You have cards, and maybe then you have a tile to represent monster instead of just the tile itself, which you can place down and it has all the information on it. You're like, what the hell does this cultist do? Okay. Now I'm like, oh, there's a cultist over here, and there's a tile, and maybe something matching it or something, you know.
Right.
And I liked how they build the city now, too. I think I've mentioned that before. I like the kind of build your own board with the Arkham City. But Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. The next big date on something, I think they're saying that on the 23rd, the deluxe rulebook is out for sale, which seems kind of like an odd thing. Let me see here. You can buy deluxe rulebook extra? I don't know. They said it was, which is weird. Anyway, 3rd edition Arkham Horror out nowish. Not nowish. For pre-order. I don't know the date. I'm bad with that. Working on it. I think my brain is already breaking. Too much stuff going on. Let's talk about Vert RPG. Vert. Is it Vert? Yeah. By it's being... I don't know if it's originally out by Modifius.
It looks awesome.
But Vert is at least publishing, or I mean, Modifius is at least publishing it. It looks like Raven Desk Games are the original creators. And I do agree, it has a very awesome look to it. It's like, it's supposed to be like hallucinogenic sci-fi is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
It's near future.
Grittiness of cyberpunk streets and the vibrant freedom of dreams to your game sessions.
Oh, hey, I almost got it correctly.
That let's see. That means that other than pencil and paper and a couple of dice, Vert Core Book is all you need to play the game. The Cipher system is a hugely popular rule set that powers Numenera and the Strange by Monte Cook Games and
So
Raven Desk Games. Is very
yeah.
Okay.
So it's Cipher System. I don't know a lot about Cipher System because I've never tried it yet. But so it's used with the Cipher System, which I don't know if there's a core book. It sounds like you don't need to have like a core book. You just need the Vert book.
Yeah, it says all you need is the Vert book.
So theoretically, it can be used with others, like because it says it's over 100 all new ciphers. I'm guessing it's got the Cipher System. It would be slightly compatible with if you really wanted to like do your own thing, but
yeah.
It's
$60.
Pre-generated character, 75-page setting chapter. Really, 75-page setting chapter. The Great Manchester, the world's largest megacity. It's very British. Yes. Someone tell Ollie it's very British.
Yeah, the physical book is $60.
Yeah.
The PDF is $29.99, and they have a PDF of the player's guide for $19.99.
Vert. Man, it's another big one. God, Modifius just knows how to put out a lot of interesting game systems.
And they're sold out of some stuff. It's like the 32mm Peter miniatures of Harold, sold out. Deck of Harold playing cards for Savage World, sold out. And ceramic beanies for Harold are sold out.
Well, that's when you're looking at like the Raven Desk stuff, because again, like I'm pretty sure it's similar to how White Wolf had Modifius not create. Is it publish? Just publish Vampire 5th Ed or Salad or something. I don't know the exact term for it, because White Wolf writes it and they publish it for them.
Yeah.
It's the same way I think. Using from Raven Desk Games for Vert for them.
Oh, Harold is a specific another game though.
Yeah, I think Harold's another.
Harold is a Lovecraft and Tesla.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like Vert was a Kickstarter too, which is really cool.
But I think that's interesting with Harold. Do you want Lovecraft and Tesla to hang out?
Sure.
Just think of the horrible possibilities.
And they talk about like these Vert feathers. Players ingest slender Vert feathers to travel to parallel worlds as vivid, unique, and unpredictable as wildest dreams. So you like travel to parallel worlds. Kind of weird kind of thing. I like it. It seems like it's interesting. Cyberpunk. And dream, like freedom of dreams stuff.
If you look on the Vert PDF cover or the Vert cover, if you zoom in, there's like some animal creature that's hanging out in front of them, and he's holding like a golden feather.
Yeah,
that's probably a Vert feather.
So it can like create weird things. Like you're like from this basic cyberpunk world, and then you can kind of almost like do weird hallucinogenic, like drug-induced things.
Yay!
Yeah.
Vert feathers are acid.
Teleport, or it wouldn't be teleportation. Dimensional travel acid.
Yes.
I want my dimensional travel acid. Whoa!
Well, the question is: do you actually travel dimensions? Do you just think you are?
That is a very good question. I don't know.
You wake up and it's just like, dude, I was just in this parallel world. No, you've been on the couch the whole time, man.
Man, it could really be either in this case. So Vert, it's out. I definitely would recommend checking it out for yourself to see how interested you are to see it. It looks really cool. They, Raven's just Raven Desk did a very good job making something look pretty awesome. But
yes, it looks very interesting.
We need to move on because we don't want to go too late.
Yes.
Let's go to our regular segments, of course. Kickstarter Korner, Art Week in Tabletop, and Consult the Table. Let me throw out the docket in the chat because I forgot to earlier. So at least it shows up once. Anyway, let's go to our Kickstarter Korner because there's some interesting Kickstarter stuff to talk about. Joe, do you have one today?
I'll let you go first.
Okay, I got two. I have one that I found on my own and one that was very interesting that our good friend of the show's Unfunny One suggested in chat. So for those of you who aren't here live, you know, it happens. So what I wanted to talk about is really, really weird. It's an RPG. Dinosaur Princess. That says it all.
Okay.
I'm going to throw this link in chat.
What are you? I'm a dinosaur princess.
You are. You are dinosaur princesses.
Does this take place in Mortar World?
It's supposed to be like all ages kind of thing. It's cooperation and teamwork will save the day. It's cooperative tabletop RPG. You and your friends are dinosaurs who are also princesses solving problems together. You can decide what dinosaur you are and what type of princess you are, because apparently the princesses have different jobs. You could be Aquanaut Princess, Zookeeper, and Chef Princess, they suggest. Your princesses don't have to be girls.
Yes, they do.
Nope.
That's part of the definition of what a princess is. Otherwise, would they be a prince?
Don't ruin people's dreams. Everyone can be a dinosaur princess. This is why I wanted to talk about it. It's best of 3 to 5 players with a facilitator. The games are meant to be short, like 2 hours. Man. So dinosaurs have fast and big as strengths, and princesses have honest and magical as strengths. And so it's the balancing act of those strengths which make your character. And the facilitator is the paleontologist. So that's their game master, is the paleontologist. This thing is like, it's silly. It really is. It's funded. It's funded by $12 more than it's funding. So I mean, it got funded with $12 extra so far, and they do have some stretch goals. More dino scenes and colored pages, more to go. They're good because they have just a cheer level. If you want to just add $1 and make them, hey, cheering them on, you can do it. $10 gets you a discounted PDF copy. 15 gives you the full PDF. 30 gives you a print version and a PDF, and 75 gives you dice and colored pages. Apparently, you can have. So,
nice.
Yep. So I guess they don't normally have colored pages. They're simple PDF, but you can get it if you want to spend a little extra. But you also get dice too. So I mean, yup, dinosaur princesses. Okay, I don't know where else to go with this one. I really don't. It's a thing. It's a thing that exists, and it's entertaining. And oops, that's not the one I wanted to open. I wanted to open Dinosaur Princesses and remember it so I could show people again in the future. But the other one I wanted to talk about was one that was suggested by a funny one, which is Tile Blade's Heroes of the Reef. Which, oh my god, it's funded. It's like 500% funded. with 13 days to go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a thing. It's definitely like it's over 500% funded now. So it's a tournament kind of thing for Tidal Blades, elite guards of the Island Realm, and those succeed a tournament to become the Tidal Blade. Compete in challenges in 3 different arenas, rise to the top of the champion board, and protect the realms from threats of monsters in the mysterious fold. It's got its own dice.
It was funded in less than an hour.
Yeah. You customize character, upgrade dice, fight monsters, go on the challenges, visit various different islands, and go to that becoming a champion. They have like a video for the full playthrough. They have a copy of the rules you can download. Yes. And it looks like $59 gets you the retail edition of the game and all unlocked retail edition stretch goals. There's a deluxe edition for $89, which gives you basically a retail and a deluxe edition of it, or it gives you the deluxe copy of the deluxe edition box and all the deluxe edition stretch goals. So they have split the stretch goals between, you know, their deluxe and their retail edition, so that you would have to check the stretch goals to see which ones you get. It's got it shows off everything it's got in the game. It's really interesting art, very bright, vibrant colors. You know, they show off the deluxe edition, which gives you like actual miniatures rather than standees. It looks like, so that's what the big deluxe upgrade is. Like the dice tray is part of the deluxe edition. You know,
they've unlocked everything so far.
Yeah, so far.
And it says more coming soon.
Yeah. God, they gotta go way down here for stretch goals. Solo mode, new monster card, artifact cards, new sets of challenges, improved card stock, player board thickness, more monsters, more characters.
Linen finish.
Got linen finish. New sets of challenges, market cards, spot UVV black market cards, monster challenges, new worded monsters, boat miniatures for the deluxe version.
Boat standee retail.
Yeah, for the retail version. New set of challenges, new stunt cards, an RPG show, 1 episode. I don't know what that is, but there's more updates in their update 13. New character cards. New sets of challenges, public goals, spell shields upgrades, pearlized shields for the deluxe, new stunt cards, new monster cards, the ones that they have left that they haven't got.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Score pad and dramatic round marker.
Yeah,
but they're not far away from either.
No, with the way that they're going,
they only need another 5,000 to hit the next one.
Yeah. So, it's a hell of a game. That's the way I have to say this one here. This is a hell of a game. With 13 days to go. I like how I was sitting here on the page and the Kickstarter and the pledge amount just jumped up a whole bunch. At the one point in time, I was like, when I started talking about it, I just saw it was like way up there, and I'm like, whoop.
And you do have to pay for shipping. US, it's $12 for one copy.
And dice management. That's the type of game it is. Because I'm guessing like you're like going to different items to get resources, which then you're using to complete the challenges or to fight the monsters. So it's a little bit of resource management, because that's what worker placement tends to be, you know. But I guess dice are maybe the resource you're managing in a way.
And also you have 4 different trackers for different abilities for your character that you can customize.
Yeah, so I'm guessing like it's your own character is your resource and the dice they have, and that's why you do different things on the board.
Upgrade your dice, fight monsters, become a champion.
it's an internal resource. So it's unlike like a normal resource where you might be like, oh, I'm gathering wood or gold. It's like my resource management is I'm improving this part of my character, or I'm improving that part of my character, or I'm improving.
Well,
this part
resource management also could be something with the fruit and shell tokens too.
I'm sure it's a combination of all of these things.
Oh, and energy discs.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a combination of all these things. It's like it's an in-depth resource management and character builder. So I think that's why it's so bigly popular. It's very interesting that they evolved the resource management game to something bigger and better. Anyway, so did you find one?
I did find one now.
Cool.
That gave me enough time to find it.
Yay!
So I found this. So Dead. It is halfway to its goal.
Cool.
It has 18 days still to go. It's up to 24 people.
Wait.
No, there's a reason for it. It's a survival elimination deck builder game.
Okay.
So people are going to be dying like quickly throughout the game. So I think that's why it can be up to so many people, because people are going to be getting knocked out very quickly.
Yeah.
Especially when you have that many people.
Yeah.
So you're in a post-apocalyptic world. I just love they're 5 to 24 players, 2 to 4 player rules available. Ages 12 plus, blah, blah. The world has ended by gene-sliced bees with humans. Or maybe it's zombies. Or something else. On top of that, everyone left is trying to kill you. So there's random maps. The apocalypse is spreading outward. So you can't move into the apocalypse zones. So it gives you less spaces to move into. If 2 of you are there, you have to fight. So there's move, combat, loot, and apocalypse parts of the round. The basic cards are weapons, armor, supplies, which are pretty much game one. Looks like a lot of game level cards.
Yeah.
Special gear, which I love. There's camouflage for outside, or hide inside, which is hiding under a giant pile of stuffed animals.
Yeah.
And then the character cards, you have a janitor, who gives you +2 cards, a trucker, whose your max hand size is 6, a clown, which seems to be a special one. Remove all players from combat, then you may loot. So it looks like he can get out of combat. It's a green gem on the top left. Okay, wait. For some characters, the ability can only be used one time during the game. Okay, so that clown can only be used. His ability can only be used once, but that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah.
And cat lover, who has +2 to attack while inside.
Yeah.
She throws your cats at you.
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, and the janitor's +2 when looting inside.
Interesting.
But it looks like it could be a fun game, but it's definitely going to be a brutal game.
It looks like each base game itself is for a number of players. So it's like, since it's up to 24, you would need like 3 copies of the game, I guess.
Yeah. Probably because you need so many cards.
Yeah. You need so many different things.
Right, let's see. And the base pledge is only $25, which is a survivor tier. Includes enough meeple player decks, dice for up to 8 players.
Okay. And so that's why you don't quite get up to the, it looks like you don't quite get up to the 24 players, which is their maximum, with their highest pledge. Their $65
it's
pledge.
16, their biggest one is 16 plus 4 players.
Yeah.
So,
but it gives you
get
like a lot of deluxe stuff too. So it'd be like, yes, you could get 3 copies of the game and play it, or you could get the really big deluxe player. Maybe you can only get up to 20 players, but you get a lot of also cool like bonus stuff and things like that.
Also, how many times you gotta actually play with 24 people?
Not very often. Getting 24 people together in a place to get a game in, it's like...
Unless it's like an event.
Yeah.
Like PAX or
yeah,
something like that.
When I can get together like 10 people in a place, I feel like I've accomplished something. And even then, that's rare and nearly impossible.
Okay, so for the $25 pledges, you don't get any stretch goals.
Okay. All right. That makes sense then.
Yeah, but it's only 25. You're still getting 6 location cards, 8 unique character cards, 96 players, 110 loot, 16 meeples, 8 6-sided dice, 6 double-sided apocalyptic tokens, 8 victory tokens, 15 level up tokens, 1 rulebook, 1 bonus character. And you also get a bonus character, Zeus.
Ooh, bonus characters. Neat.
But yeah, for so get any of the unlock stuff, it would be the pledge of 35 or more. Which then you get 10 up to 10 characters too. Or up to 10 people to play. And you get some bonus exclusive character pack. Oh, it looks like they're going to be like this game will also eventually sell packs of cards to do upgrades to the game.
Cool.
So a little bit on the Munchkin side there.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I've never necessarily complained about packs of cards. It's been a mixed bag, in my opinion, usually.
Yeah. It can be cool. It gives you something extra, but you might end up getting the same thing or a bunch of the same thing.
Munchkins, I just felt were usually overpriced for what they gave you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's always been the problem with Steve Jackson games is it seems what you get is not exactly always worth what you're paying.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes it is.
Like
the
base Munchkin stuff are usually worth it for what they give you, and the true expansions are usually worth it. But that's about it.
I'm saying more recently, though.
Oh God, yes, there have been some problems. Yes, with like Munchkin Light, which is definitely not worth it.
Yeah,
should have been like 50% the price, and it's like a couple dollars off. I'm like, well,
yeah, it's like might as well just buy the whole game.
Anyway. Let's move on to our second regular segment, Our Week in Tabletop, where we talk about what the heck we did in tabletop this week. Joe, you got anything?
I did not do much other than last Sunday's. What did we play last Sunday?
Who Goes There, was it?
Yes, I think. I'm trying to remember the game. It's been since we hadn't done much, and it was my first week back to actual work.
Yeah, I think it was Who Goes There.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what that was.
That's the thing one that we did.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Which I got turned into the thing and died.
Yes. It got changed and then died, and then we were like, welp.
And then Lisa got changed. Lisa died. And
Lindsay.
Or Lindsay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I at least had an L there. And then you and Blaze got to the helicopter but couldn't take off. So everyone technically
died. Yeah, because we were like, oh.
You guys forgot to think about getting out of there.
I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah.
As far as I knew, we were fine. And apparently, no. You have to like... I think it's like you only roll the die once, and then you do it. I would have thought like maybe you rolled it once per player or something. That might have helped us, but I think we only rolled it once. Then.
Yeah, because you guys looked over it. You wouldn't need it more bonuses, basically. And you both rolled poorly.
Well, that is true. That is true. But there were certain things about it that I was like curious about. So, anyway, and I don't think I did really anything else because Vampire got canceled because we lost 2 players, and Madness
Oh,
is still
sorry to hear
on
that.
break. Yeah. It was someone was sick, and Tiv got called into work.
So it was a slow week in gaming this week.
It was a slow week in gaming. So it happens. We get these slow weeks in gaming.
Yep, but
Yep.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Is what it is. So it's Consult the Table, our last thing for our show, where you can consult us about anything you want to ask us. Any question, anywhere, all of them. Go ahead. You got something? Go ahead, shoot it our way. We can let you know to the best of our abilities from board games, role playing, card game, CCGs, nerdy stuff like TV series, movies, comic books. Anything you want to ask us about, knock yourself out. If we can answer it, we will. Nope, nothing. So, no. Why don't we move on to heading out? So, thank you everyone who joined us today in chat. Thank you to Joe for once again joining me, as usual, for the show. Do you have anything you want to shout out today?
Nope, I got nothing other than watch us tomorrow night.
Yep, we're going to be back tomorrow night for Sundays at Tabletop. We'll get a bunch of people together. We'll have a fun time. We'll call it a good time. Anyway, thank you for joining us, and we'll all see you here next week for more Discussing Tabletop, where we'll talk about more of this, and Sundays at Tabletop tomorrow, and Legacy of Kain should be back on Tuesday. And Mass Land has one more week off, so before Season 2 starts. Anyway, thanks everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Goodbye.